There are plenty of people in the gaming industry who love their work and who are passionate about what they talk about on a daily basis. And of course, there are people who are pure freaking hypocrites who could care less about the community that they're part of, and they only work by a single motto: rules for thee, but not for me. And that happens in every industry. It doesn't just happen in the gaming industry, but I wanted to talk about a new situation where several editors at large gaming outlets and reviewers for those outlets are endlessly going on a harassment campaign against the quartering. Get this, because they're saying that he was harassing someone and that's bad. Hey, game journos, your freaking hypocrisy is showing yet again, because unfortunately a lot of these game journalists are hypocrites, and they always have been and always will be. Now, I get that there are people out there who dislike the quartering, and I think that it's fine to dislike people, and if you dislike Jeremy, that's fine. I'm not going to say that that's bad. And even saying something like, hey, I really don't like your content, or I really don't like your personality, is fine. But this whole situation that's going on right now isn't okay, and it definitely needs to be called out. Now, this whole situation started because the quartering had actually made a video about a GameSpot writer who got to review Cyberpunk 2077, yet she literally admitted that she skipped parts of the game that are core to the experience, like using different types of weapons and upgrading weapons, and she didn't do specific missions because they helped cops. I mean, she literally just skipped tons of content, even though she was doing a review, and I do think that that honestly deserves to be criticized. There are plenty of people out there who are writers and YouTubers and streamers who would die to get a review copy of an upcoming game like Cyberpunk 2077, and you couldn't even give the game the time of day to try out different weapon types and upgrading weapons. That is a huge part of the game's system. But the quartering had actually tweeted this out: I proved a reviewer of Cyberpunk 2077 skipped large sections of the game, key features of an RPG, and the entirety of IGN and GameSpot are trying to get me deplatformed for it. If they have time for this, maybe they should have spent more time on their reviews. So I wanted to read a couple of the tweets that have been put out by IGN staff and GameSpot staff. The first one is from Brian Altano. It says, makes shows and podcasts at IGN and elsewhere, and he said, I just saw my doctor. He said, I have gout and other weird pirate diseases, and that making 85 videos about the same woman is deranged behavior, and that I am basically a walking above ground pool of a man. Watch this video to assist with my rodent infestation bills. Literally none of this makes sense, and that's why I'm laughing at it, not because he's mocking the quartering. How does this make sense? Did BrianAltano.exe just stop freaking working? Because none of this makes sense at all. I don't understand how he got 2.5k likes on something this terrible. So these next tweets are from two IGN employees, actually. Lucy O'Brien said, fuck you, you horrific, constant liar. Now, for people who claim to want less harassment in the industry, they seem to have no problem dishing it out themselves, because as a consumer and a content creator, this makes me lose even more respect for their dying news outlets. And I'm definitely not saying that IGN gets 0 clicks or sites like Kotaku get 0 clicks, because they do, because they are established in the industry, but there are plenty of other news sites who are more deserving of their popularity, who care about the industry, and who are not going to attack content creators literally for making a video. Now, she says constant liar. Jeremy didn't lie in this video. He pointed out the fact that this woman literally admitted to skipping specific sections of the game in her review because she didn't get a chance to play them. He didn't lie at all here. And I don't expect every content creator to get along, but saying fuck you to another content creator is just a little bit uncalled for, in my opinion. But the next person, who apparently is the managing editor of GameSpot, said this loser spends his days tearing down others to compensate for his inability to create anything meaningful to put out into the world. We have to watch him bring undue mental harm to people that are our peers and friends, people that are just doing their job. Please report him. He also continued on with his victims work hard, they hold themselves to rigorous standards, they agonize over each word written or spoken, he does venomous videos inviting viewers to harass others, he makes a living off of misery, he's a liar and a grifter, and please, do the right thing and report him. Now again, I think that it's perfectly fine if you don't like a content creator, but calling for a mass flag campaign isn't okay, it's never okay unless something serious has been done. And Jeremy literally says in most of his videos, and in this one too, please don't go and interact with this person I'm talking about, please don't go and harass them. He's not asking his audience to go and harass people, he's just pointing out a situation that's happening. So Ryan Brown at the PR team at Super Rare Games said lots of folk rightly telling you why this is horseshit, funny to moan about journalists and do fuck all research yourself, so I'm just here to call you a loser. Now these people clearly can't take criticism, and there's definitely a difference between criticism and harassment. If you say something to these types of people that they don't like, they will instantly call it harassment and start a hate campaign against you, like we're clearly seeing here. It's just very unfortunate to see people who work for these big websites like IGN and GameSpot openly attacking creators that they don't like and saying fuck you and calling him disgusting, awful things. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Jeremy's link to his video on this topic will be, of course, linked in the description along with his, social media accounts. I'm sure that a lot of you already know who he is, but if you enjoyed this video and found it important and informative, please make sure to give it a like and share it, and of course if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.